I wanted to ask you what happened there on that 3rd and 25 late in the fourth when they got the 24 yards to set up the tie-in field goal.
Yeah, it's a good throw and a good catch. Coverage is pretty good, but Prescott made a good throw and Lamb made a good catch.
Did you have a 7th defensive back available if you wanted to do that in that situation? Were you sort of hamstrung due to injury situation or anything like that, or would that not be were you happy? I guess with I think it was Dimewood I saw.
Yeah, that's what we had planned on.
And just to follow up on one thing at the end of the first half, I think last night the question was asked, like, why taking the knee? I think the answer was you were getting the ball at the start of the second half. And I know in the past we've probably seen situations where that could go either way. 1:30 on the clock. And I'm just curious, what was it about the game or the conditions of the way things unfolded that made that the decision for you instead of maybe taking a more aggressive tack at that time?
Yeah, same answer I gave last night, Mike. Nothing's changed.
But I guess I was more curious in that you've done maybe a different decision in the past in that situation, right? So there must have been something about the game or the situation that led to that, right? I mean, I think we could probably go back and see situations where you approach it differently, right?
Sure, every game's different.
So why not a little more aggressive there?
Because we were going to get the ball in the second half. We went back and, wanted to get settled in on the second half, at halftime. Same thing I said last night.
Next question, Phil Perry.
Hey, Bill, early in the game, looked like offensively, when you guys had some bigger people on the field, you were able to move the ball pretty well. Was there, first of all, I guess, what did you see when you guys used that formation that allowed you to have some success early, and then I think again late in the game? And was there anything that the Cowboys did in response to that maybe led you to feel like going with more sub people kind of in that middle portion of the game was the better move for you guys?
Yeah, well, when you go into the game with an alternative group like the big people, it's not like you go in there with like 25 plays. So sometimes shelf life on that doesn't last forever. I mean, I don't think you just keep bringing it in and run the same play, 5 times in a row in this league.
And how have you liked, I guess, the way that the tight ends have kind of handled those multiple responsibilities? Bill, we're seeing them in the backfield and motioning out and just used in some different ways. How have they adapted to what you guys have asked them to do in that regard?
Yeah, I think everybody's done a good job of handling the game plans and the multiple formations and groupings. I don't think that's been a problem.
Next question, Nick O'Malley, and I encourage any others to raise your hand if you have questions.
Hi, Bill. I want to ask about offensive line rotations and moving guys in and out yesterday. Was putting Mike and Isaiah back in the game after not having much practice something you tried to avoid? And what led to the change from taking Justin and Godney out of the game and then putting the more experienced tackles in partway through the game?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of an unusual situation there. We had 2 starting linemen that Mike missed some time and then came back at the end of the week, and then Isaiah wasn't back until Saturday. So we were juggling some things on the offensive line. So do what we felt was best during the game.
And what were your thoughts on Mike Onweni's performance at right tackle, coming back, finishing out the game after really only having a handful of practices after being along for such a significant stretch and so suddenly?
Yeah, well, Mike's one of our best offensive linemen, and I thought he stepped in there and did what we felt was best for us in that game. I thought he gave us great effort.
Thank you.
All right, next question, Mike Reiss, followed by Phil Perry.
So what did the Cowboys do on the block punt?
It was just a force.
And is that as simple as Jelani just needs to make the block, or is there more like a communication aspect that broke down?
Yeah, it was we obviously missed an assignment, but it wasn't even a full out block. It was a force.
All right, next question, Phil Perry.
Bill, one of the things Devin McCourty said to us last night was he was asked if fatigue was maybe an issue at all for the defense. I think they were over 39 minutes on the field at the end of by the end of the game last night, and he said, you guys would look at it and you might be able to determine if that was a factor or not. After looking at it, did you feel like fatigue was an issue at all for the defense after the amount of time they spent on the field?
Well, I mean, anytime you play 91 plays, I don't think that's the same as playing 55 plays. So, but I wouldn't say that that was a. I mean, they played them too, so I mean, I thought it was competitive.
One of the reasons I ask is, did you feel like it maybe impacted your pass rush at all? Impossible for us to know, but it looks like there are times where you guys are bringing pressure, and is that because you're having a hard time getting pressure with the four guys up front, or is it part of the plan throughout? What was, I guess, your thought process towards the end of the game trying to blitz the Cowboys there?
Yeah, we mix those calls in all day. Again, I don't think you just want to sit in one thing against the Cowboys all day. I don't think that's really a good idea.
And our last question, Yakiko.
Morning, Bill. The play that before the block punt, did you consider challenge that play? Miles got the ball on the line, but that the referee give like a 4th and 1. So did you consider like challenge that play?
No, I didn't think that we had it. Those are hard plays to challenge out in the field. When there's no line involved, it's pretty unusual to see those overturned. And didn't get a good enough look at it quickly enough. Maybe you saw it better than we did. I don't know.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, Mike, Phil, Nick, and Yaki for asking questions. Thanks, guys.